In today's program Love in Ukraine, we have an American, Gary Roysha, who purchased this village property in Kyiv Oblast and created a real American ranch.
Gary Artur Roche.
Gary Roysha, 63 years old, a native Californian, graduate of Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University. Today he works for the World Bank Group, where he manages a number of projects connected to the financing and insurance of agricultural producers. In his private life, he established a vocation school for children and youth called The Land of Virtues. His wife is Ukrainian. The first time this American visited Ukraine was in the early 90s, when he came to work but with no plan to stay and live. In 2003, the requirements of his work required him to move to Ukraine, although not yet realizing that he would meet his life's partner, build a house, take care of horses, while at the same time constantly traveling for work. Throughout his entire life, Gary traveled frequently for his work to different countries like Russia, Tanzania, Philippines, the Netherlands, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Haiti, Ivory Coast and, of course, Ukraine. After a few years in Ukraine, he decided to buy an apartment in Kiev and later to look for a country home where he could have horses and, importantly, escape from the materialistic life in the city. It was very important for him to find a country home untouched by the city life. So he searched for a location at least 100 kilometers from Kiev.
I looked east of Kiev, north of Kiev. I had in mind a specific idea of what I happened to buy. It had to be truly a rural area, not influenced by the culture of the city, but rather a place where only country people lived and worked, where nature could be felt, no trash, no cars. I found it there in Bogoslav region, an area which translates as God's glory.
Gary selected a place to live and a home in a unique way.
After I found this village, I explored the surrounding 30 kilometers by horseback. I was able to view up close the surrounding region, its forests, its agricultural land. I learned many of the trails and met local people and experienced the beauty of the area and decided it was what I had been looking for. Then I started looking for a house to buy. I walked up and down the street, looked at the houses and thought it would be great to buy one of these houses one day.
7 years ago, Gary purchased this property in Boguslav Rayon, but what we see today cannot be compared to what it looked like when he bought it.
My home is a typical home of a Soviet cooperative farm in this region, built after the Second World War. The walls of this home are very thick, built out of large homemade clay bricks. Of course, I repaid the home after I bought it. There were many old farm buildings. One shed for the pigs, another for cows, and over there was a shed for storing hay. Where I have my office today used to be a summer kitchen, and behind that was another small building used as a workshop. So for the first couple of years I was here, I just destroyed the old farm buildings, and now we only see the original house and the garage.
Local residents reacted differently to the arrival of a strange American in the village. Some just gossiped about him, others asked for help, but most accepted him and helped him, including the mother of his future wife, who lives in the next house. Little by little, as the idea for the project grew, so did his future with a new family. The story of their life is like a fairy tale. An American that traveled the whole world finds peace and harmony with the village girl next door, a Ukrainian school teacher named Svetlana. When Gary and Svetlana became acquainted, both had adult children from earlier marriages. They met 4 years ago. Svetlana for a long time didn't imagine Gary as a future husband. I didn't see him as a potential husband. I thought he was a bit strange and I couldn't understand what he was doing in my village and for what reason. So, in the beginning, they were neighbors and at times helped each other. Gary organized events at his home and asked Svetlana to help as a teacher, so she often cared for the children. But there came a moment when Gary started to look at Svetlana with different eyes, looking more deeply in her character.
Здесь села девушки не ходят.
In the village, girls don't walk around in fashionable clothes. She was just a girl that lived next door, and I frequently saw her working in the garden. A friend of mine took notice of Svetlana and told me that I should pay attention to this girl because she was special. I told him, yes, she is, but didn't think too much about it. So little by little our relationship grew. We understand to this day that strong and successful relationships are not so easy. Over time we discovered that we are similar in many ways, share the same values and live together easily.
It was not an instant realization that we were compatible. Maybe if we were 17 years old when we met, it might have been instant, but since we are mature people, we needed to be sure that we could live under one roof. Sveta recalled one event that helped her to change the way she looked at Gary. She observed that Gary didn't run away from troubles, just the opposite, he always found a way to solve problems. In a village we work a lot. My parents planted a lot of potatoes and I helped them. And Gary saw us working in the garden and saw there was need for some help. And so one day he offered to load the potatoes onto his new tractor.
Yes, I had just bought a new tractor.
Gary bought a new tractor and he offered to help load potatoes and transport the potatoes to the store. But I didn't believe he could carry a heavy bag of potatoes, much less carry it to the basement storage area. I thought he was an office worker, not used to hard work, but it turned out he was the first professor in my life that didn't mind doing serious physical work, like loading potatoes into the store. Now, in the home of this family, in spite of all the work with children and the professional responsibilities of Gary's work, this family creates peace and happiness for themselves and others.
Я думаю, это был, честно говоря, неожиданно.
It is hard to logically explain how an American that has traveled the world many times made the acquaintance of a Ukrainian village girl and united. She doesn't even like to leave a village and go to Kiev, but still we found understanding together. We always say that our unity is very important to us. We live like two souls in one body, in spite of the fact that we are different, cultures, language and everything. We find that we can effectively consult together.
Даже мы разные, культурный язык и все, мы нашли пониманием друг друга.
I value my husband because his words and deeds match. He is very responsible. Elsewhere, always, I can count on him. He is very reliable. For a woman, this is important. It's a value that is important for the family. I could list other qualities, but in Ukraine we say, you should never praise a husband even if you have lived together 7 years, much less if only 7 days. For now, this is enough. So maybe in 7 years, I might add to this list. Gary values Svetlana because together with her, he feels his life is calm and fulfilling.
We are building something together as a family, unified, and because of that it will be sustainable and everlasting.
Little by little, the next-door neighbors, Gary and Svetlana, became friends and then started helping each other, and then love. During this period, the project The Land of Virtues began to develop, and today we see concrete results of their efforts. The project was created on the small farm of the couple. Today we see a multifaceted, successful children's vacation school with a special purpose.
We play a lot of sports. Here we are very active. Volleyball, football, basketball. Almost every day we are involved in some activity.
Here we have wonderful activities. The atmosphere is very free. The village is very beautiful.
This is my second session at the school. For Andriy, it's already his third time. Another boy, Bogdan, has been here 7 times. Here there is room to live outdoors and run around. In the city you can do this because of the cars. And in the city there are not so many friends to be with.
I like it here because the air is fresh and clean, pure oxygen you can breathe. In the city there is only exhaust and pollution from the cars. Here you see one of the classes where Svetlana is describing to the children how to make vareniki or ravioli, using the activity as a metaphor to discuss the virtue respect. You remember, when we were preparing pizza, I was telling you that the pizza dough is alive, like our spirit or soul. When we have respect, it will influence the results, both with the pizza and in our relations with others. During the lessons, the children discuss virtues or spiritual qualities. They learn the value of these virtues to build strong relationships with other people.
Добродетель – это позитивные качества характера.
Virtues are positive elements in our character. We suggest to the children that the acquisition of virtues will create a strong moral foundation, which will be very important in their lives. Examples of these virtues include honesty, self-discipline, cleanliness, reliability.
Чистота. Мы каждый день
Every day we are learning. For example, we have lessons called good manners. We talk about honesty. We talk a lot about honesty. And its importance to life is a fact. We talk about giving and kindness.
То, что мы здесь помогаем, это тоже как доброта фактически.
We understand when we are helpful, that we are showing kindness. We can help others. We can help keep the home clean. We understand that these positive qualities unite us and create strength.
Gary likes to ride horses for sport, and he keeps horses at his country home. So far he has only 2. As he likes to work with horses, he also enjoys working with the children to teach them about horses. During the vacation school, Gary also works with the children, including those that have never sat on a horse before, and the children that are afraid of horses. Gary himself learned to love horses in his youth and explains why he likes cowboy saddles and boots, and that real cowboy boots can only be bought in America.
Я в Америке.
In America, I always rode on cowboy saddles, and for this reason I really don't like the local saddles. Cowboy saddles are excellent for sport riding and long-distance riding, so I like the saddles and boots. Cowboy boots are not fashion. They are high to protect the ankles when they are in the stirrups, so there is a practical reason I wear cowboy boots.
Ковбойские любят ковбойские ботинки.
The children at the school have the opportunity to ride real cowboy saddles. He has bought a number of saddles from Montana, cowboy country in the US.
Сначала я хочу...
In the beginning, I teach the children not to be afraid of horses and understand a little bit why they behave the way they do. Take this horse, I really can't say if she is comfortable with Kolya. I always tell the children you should always seek to create a connection with the horse. Understanding the behavior of a horse and connecting with it is more important than just learning how to sit on the horse. Many children in the beginning are afraid of horses, so I try to show them there is no reason to be afraid of horses if you understand them. Horses are usually very kind animals, but of course they behave according to their nature. For example, why is this horse screaming? She's complaining that the other horse is far away and she doesn't feel comfortable alone. They are very social animals. They want to be together. So if any of the children want to ride, they don't just sit on the horse. They also have to learn about the behavior of the horse and learn how to respect it, take care of it and saddle it. Is that so, Kolya?
Yes, that's right.
Can you groom a horse, Kolya?
Yes, I can groom it.
But I think you worked with the other horse.
No, this one.
Да, и ты сидел?
Did you ride Snezhana before?
Yes, I read in her.
Do you want to sit on Snezhana now?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and get on the horse.
Вот. То есть главное, что...
So in the beginning, I want them to sit easily on the horse and control the horse. They learn how to start, stop, turn. They need to have control. Without that, you can't really progress with the horse. So let's start. This horse is often more difficult to control. The other horse is much easier. This horse is not always easy. This horse will always test the rider.
After a busy working week, Gary thinks the weekends are for getting out into nature and enjoying a horse ride. Horse riding helps him to keep in good physical condition. He often rides 20-30 kilometers in an afternoon, and it brings him much satisfaction.
It helps me to balance my life. I spend too much time sitting in front of computers, too much time in meetings, too much time working with budgets. But here I live a different life. The country heals me. It is home for the soul.
Svetlana explained that the idea to develop the country of virtues for children was the idea of Gary. He wanted to do something positive for the country.
I received an inheritance from my father, and I decided to use this money for a service activity, something for society. I love this country life, the horses, the nature, the sports, and it is wonderful that I can share it with children and other groups. It is a lot of work to build and maintain the school, but when I give something valuable to others, it makes me happy. If I had horses, I needed to build stables. If there would be children and youth, they needed a safe, clean place to live. For the activities, we needed a classroom. Little by little, with help from my friends and family, we prepared the plan and created the facilities for the school that you see today.
Svetlana, in the beginning, didn't think the idea was workable. She wasn't convinced it would be successful. In the beginning, it was fully my husband's idea, and if I'm honest, I had a lot of doubts. I didn't believe in the idea. There were many serious questions and risks. To succeed, it required a lot of time and dedication. I said, maybe we don't need to do this. Why should we do it? And he replied, we shouldn't just think of ourselves, of our own needs. We need to also do something for others. But I was not convinced. Then, after we started the activities, and when I started to see the results, I told him, you were right. The construction of the facility was planned by Gary, and Svetlana took care of the educational program for the children. Special materials for the development of virtues in children were selected, particularly those from 2 Russian educators, known to Gary, and 1 Canadian academic. It's no secret that many parents do not read books about virtues development of children. Svetlana studied the materials and prepared professional lesson plans for the children attending the school. At first, I worked with a few children of close friends, and I began to use these materials and lesson plans. The next year, there were more children, and the next year, even more. I used to think, why should children from around here who live in the country want to spend time with us? They can spend time in the country every day, but even these children who live in the country came to the school. The parents would say, what do they do at home? At your school, there is a positive environment with specialized learning activities. Svetlana worked for 13 years as a teacher of Ukrainian literature, and she sees herself as a professional educator. However, when she was younger, she dreamed of another profession. My daughter Svetlana loved to cut hair. After she finished school, she told me, Mama, I'm going to be a hairdresser. I told her, Sveta, you are not going to do that. You are my only child, and you are going to continue your education, and you should become a teacher. Svetlana complained to me many times, I'm a teacher only because of you. Finally, when she was 29 years old, she came to me and hugged me and told me, Mama, I'm very thankful that you helped me to become a teacher and find my true profession. Thanks to the project Land of Virtues, Svetlana left her job at school. The requirements to run the vacation school did not allow enough time for her to do both jobs. She decided to devote all her attention to the Land of Virtues. Teaching is my calling in life. I do this work because I love it. I feel fulfilled from this work. It makes me happy. This is work that I really want to do.
People used to say to Svetlana, your husband is an American. Why do you still work at the school?
Many people asked me this. The salary of teachers is too low. They said that I have the possibility now to stop, so why continue working? I replied, I do it because I love it. That is why I still work. But people didn't really understand this. They often think that because my husband is American, I could do anything I wanted to do and be happy. Immediately after the filming of the program, Gary will leave on business trips to different countries. Even during his busy schedule in the office, he looks for opportunities to balance his life. From the window of his office in Kiev, he relaxes with the view of Kiev-Pechersk Lavra Monastery and the Dnieper River. Gary mentioned that he was a member of the Baha'i faith and with great pleasure views the beautiful Ukrainian churches and monasteries and from time to time visit them.
The Baha'i faith is not a new religion. It is now more than 150 years old. I think the most important fact to know about the Baha'i faith is that we believe that all religions are from one God. For me, there is no contradiction to participate in church activities, and in Ukraine this means primarily Orthodox traditions. I value these Orthodox traditions. I really love the beautiful church squares in Kiev, like the Lavra on St. Sophia Cathedral. There is nothing like these historical church squares in North America. And of course, the Dnipro River and the parks along the river are very beautiful.
Gary said, in addition to the church squares and hospitable Ukrainians, there was great new beauty in Ukraine, which makes Ukraine a pleasant place to work and live.
Earlier, I had offices in other parts of Ukraine, in Lviv, in Ivano-Frankivsk, western Ukraine. I frequently had to travel to the western part. I love the mountains there, the Carpathian Mountains, they are very beautiful. In the south, in Crimea, I like the area around Bakhchisarai, the center of political and cultural life of the Crimean Tatar people. The area is very beautiful, although I don't know if I'll ever be to visit it again. As an agricultural expert, the black soils, a region of Ukraine like Poltava or Cherkasy, including the region where I live, are very productive. Ukraine has a number of different ecological regions, and if compared to Western Europe, Ukraine is a country with lots of open land and rural areas. I used to live in the Netherlands, and there are not such large open areas. It is a small country with a large population. There are not rural areas like in Ukraine, where relatively few people live, with large area of only forests and huge agricultural fields like in the American Midwest.
Gary believes that Ukraine is not just a beautiful country, but also a state with a great potential, possessing a large, well-educated population. In the agricultural sector, intensive development is underway.
If we talk about my profession, the agricultural sector, we have seen during the last 10 years an amazing growth and development. Agricultural produces 20 years ago were weak, and the sector not recognized as important to the economy. Now Ukraine has become one of the most important agricultural producers in the world, and agriculture is the engine of the economy. For some products, like sunflower, Ukraine is the highest exporter in the world. It is obvious that Ukraine has the potential for a lot more development, and that fact attracts me to the country, and I find it very satisfying to participate in its development.
Причины, почему я здесь люблю, конечно, жить.
According to Gary, he has traveled the world many times. Now, in the small village of Guta, in a beautiful natural setting with his wife, he has found happiness. This is the program Love in Ukraine, and I'm your host, Tatiana Popova.